Hello, beautiful people. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. You know, I normally do not go live this late. I am as tired as a dog. However, I am a woman of my word, and I said that I would be on here every Wednesday to do live Q&A. So I am here every Wednesday to do live Q&A. Very quickly, if you are new to my page, my name is Alison. I'm a certified dating and relationship coach. I primarily work with singles to help them find the love and commitment that they deserve. Every Wednesday, I do this live Q&A as an opportunity to give back to my community. For those who may not be in a position to hire me or hire a coach or book a session, then you will have the opportunity to ask me questions either through my stories. These are the options, people. Through my story, it's the same story. It looks exactly the same way. I post it 24 hours, or I try to post like 22 hours before so it doesn't disappear, in my story so that you can ask your questions there. If you feel comfortable, you can also join me live by coming here on the screen, and then you can ask your question. Any other way, you'd have to book a session, beautiful people. I am not in a position to be living in my DMs answering questions all dang long. So you're going to wait till Wednesday, or you can pay up and you can book a session, and it could be all about you for 30 minutes or an hour. You can give me all the context you need in order to get your questions answered, okay? If you are new to the Land of Love, my community here that I've built here on Instagram, then please let us know your name and where you are from so we can appropriately welcome you to the Land of Love. And thank you for everyone who is joining the live right now. If you know anybody who can benefit from learning about, talking about, laughing about, crying about dating and relationships, please go ahead and share this live by clicking on the little paper arrow thingy that's at the bottom right there. Please go ahead and share this with someone who you think can benefit, okay? I received a ton of questions. I'm going to do my best to answer all of them. And so let us go ahead and jump right in. Okay. So one of the questions I received is, what's a good first date question to ask to find out if he's husband material? What's a good first date question to ask to find out if he is husband material? Okay, so this is actually an excellent question. I appreciate it. So the first thing is husband material, wife material. Everyone's material is going to be different depending on what your goals, your desires, and what your values are, right? And so what's a good material for one may not be a good material for another. So the first thing that you have to do before you even consider dating, starting to date again, going on dating apps, cruising, right, is to get very clear on exactly what you're looking for in a partner and a partnership. Before you should even step out the door to start dating, you need to get clear on what you're looking for in terms of a partner or partnership, not or, and partnership. That is what's going to construct what you define as husband material or wifey material, right? Because what your goals and your values are may not be mine. And so what I'm looking for in a husband or what I found in my husband may not be or important or material to you. So the first thing is you need to get clear, like literally grab a notebook, grab a pen. Don't write it in your phone. I want you to write it like we were back in school. Write down what you're looking for in a partner and a partnership. I can tell you for my clients, I highly recommend that they don't go past 6 things that they want in a partner. 6 behaviors, 6 characteristics. 5 to 6 is what I say. And the reason why that is a couple of reasons. Number one, we don't want to be ridiculous. Nobody's perfect, especially me, especially you, especially all of us. So if we allow you to write a list of 30 things that you're looking for in a partner, the likelihood of you being able to find that all in one person is slim to none. I ask you to be realistic in 5 to 6 must-haves. Those are non-negotiables. Secondly, when you start making this huge, ridiculous laundry list and people don't start matching it, then you start to doubt yourself. Like, man, am I asking for too much? Yes. But man, am I asking for too much? And then you start to give, right? So what I would like for you to do instead is when you write this list of your non-negotiables and you're realistic about these core values, the things that are an absolute must, then you're not going to waver because it's like, dang, I'm only asking for 5 to 6 things. I'm not asking for too much. It's only this. When you have a ridiculous list, you start to doubt yourself. So again, what are some good first date questions? First, you need to get clear on exactly what you're looking for in a partner. And then you're going to ask questions around that, right? So for instance, if one of the things you're looking for in a partner is that they are family oriented, family is important to them, right? I'm going to ask questions about their childhood. I'm going to ask questions about their siblings. I'm going to ask questions about where they spent their Christmas and where they spent Thanksgiving, right? If your parents live right down the block and you didn't visit them and it's not a COVID thing, then I'm going to want to know why. If you have a big family and you don't mess with none of them, then I'm going to want to know why. So again, first you get clear on what you want out of a partner, realistic goals and expectations. And then you're going to ask questions all around those goals and all around those expectations and all around those standards so that you can assess whether or not this person is seemingly, emphasis on seemingly, an appropriate match for you. If they are seemingly an appropriate match for you. Dating is a process. Dating, root word, data. You're gathering information. So even if this person seems to be answering all of your questions right now, you should continue to assess whether or not they're an appropriate match. You should continue to have conversations. You should continue to ask questions. You should continue to observe. Observation is key, beautiful people. If you care about the way that this person treats other people, you may ask all the questions in the world, but it's not until you pull up and you see the way that they treat the maitre d' at the restaurant, you see the way that they open doors for the elderly or hold bags or do whatever. Sometimes it just takes time to assess whether or not this person is seemingly the right match, and you should continue to assess over time whether or not they continue to show up as that person. Some people are real slick. Some people are able to manipulate and make things seem like better than what they are. And so that's why it's important to not rush. Now, I'm also not a proponent of wasting time, but at the same time, we don't want to be presumptuous. You ask questions, you observe based on your non-negotiables, and then that's how you can tell if someone is wifey material or husband material for you. What's wifey material or husband material for you is not for everybody else. We're all different, and so there's no hard and fast thing that I could say, this is a perfect question. The question is it the right question for you based on what you want and what you're looking for? Okay? Let's move right along. Is a career change at 33 a red flag when he has kids? He isn't happy in his field. No. That's a quick one. No. Is a career change at 33 a red flag when he has kids? He isn't happy in his field. I'm glad that he's not sticking around and becoming depressed over a career that's not fulfilling for him. Okay? So I'm glad that he's willing to take the risk. I'm glad that he's willing to take the jump. What I would say is that, is he doing this intelligently, right? The career change in itself at 33 is young. Even having children is not the red flag. Is it that you're quitting a job without having anything else lined up, knowing that you have a financial responsibility? That's a red flag. So if he's in a position where he's saved, he's invested, he has 6 months worth, he's in a position that he can provide for his children as he transitions, great. That's responsibility. But the change in itself, I would not consider a red flag. I'm glad that he's not sitting here unhappy in his job, which you know what that leads to many times, depression, alcoholism. Like, move on, sir. I'm glad that you're taking a risk. Just make sure you're taking that risk, or you're able to mitigate that risk where your children are not negatively impacted as a result. Okay? I did see a question in the comments. Let me go back real quick. How do you ask questions where it's not coming off as interviewish and more like a convo? You ask questions. If they respond and then they ask you questions and you respond, then that's a conversation, right? But if you're just spitting questions out and all they do is respond without ever reciprocating, then that's how it becomes an interview, and then it's awkward. Okay? Now, let's move right along. If a man's dating profile states he's looking for something casual, do I keep swiping left? If a man's dating profile states he's looking for something casual, do I keep swiping left? Okay, I have to be honest. I read this question earlier and I rolled my eyes. Y'all, what are you looking for? If you know what you're looking for, getting a clear vision as to what you want out of a partner and a partnership, you know what you want. And if you know that you don't want something casual, then yes, you keep swiping. This is automatic. If there's anything in someone's profile that is the exact opposite, the antithesis to what you want, party done. There's no reason for us to have a conversation here. If this person writes that they don't want to be married and you want to be, party done. If this person says that they want kids and you don't, party done. If this person says anything that is the exact opposite of what you want, there is no room for conversation here. And it doesn't make him a bad guy or you a bad woman or anything along those lines. The two of you don't want the same things. I'm so thankful that he was honest on his profile. Even though y'all love to say that all these men be lying, they be telling the truth. We don't listen. Exhibit A. We don't listen. They're very, very straightforwardly letting us know what it is. Sometimes verbally, which I appreciate. Sometimes through our actions. It's our obligation to pay attention. If this gentleman is saying he wants something casual, I am so thankful that he was honest. You keep it moving because that's not what you want. And that's that. Okay? Is a man without a car a red flag? This red flag business gotta go. By the way, I was saying red flags before it was like a thing. Is a red flag? Is a man with a car a red flag? Without a car, a red flag. His car was stolen and does not want another right now. Lives in the DMV area. So, as I was reading this question, before I got to the part where he lives in the DMV, I said, well, if he's in New York, this is nothing to talk about. Like, our old Mayor Bloomberg, was a billionaire, and he took the train to work every day. But that was before I got to the DMV part. My opinion is, if you don't live inside of New York City, then you need a vehicle, right? That's what you need. You need a vehicle. Now, he had one, though. His car was stolen. He doesn't want to purchase a new one right now. I don't think that's the end of the world. I would like to talk about when he intends to again, because as I said, if you don't live in New York, my understanding is the expectation is that you have a vehicle. So he should get a replacement. He had one. It'll be okay. He will probably get another one. Okay? Y'all being harsh on these guys, boy. This woman asks, can you change who you're attracted to? Can you change who you're attracted to? Tend to like men who are trouble over and over. Can you change who you're attracted to? Tend to like men who are trouble over and over. Okay, so this is my take, right? You guys know me. I am extremely practical, okay? I'm logical and I'm reasonable. So if you have this animalistic attraction to these bad boys, right? You also have the mental capacity and capability to say, no, I'm not going to do this because every time I do this, this is problematic to me. So if your body is going, rawr, I got to have him. You're human, so your mind says, every time this happens, something bad happens to me. Every time I deal with this bad boy, so to speak, right? This F-boy, something bad happens. He steals, he lies, he cheats, he does whatever. Logic and reason needs to be needs to be reinstituted into relationships. Needs to be reinstituted, right? Like this idea of love is fairly new in like the timeline of humanity, right? And many times people were married because of arrangements or political moves or financial moves, family to family. I wouldn't go that extreme. But we can't also only make decisions based on our emotions because we keep hurting ourselves when we extract logic and reason away from what we need to do to make sure that we're happy human beings. Can you change who you're attracted to? I think that it may take some coaching or therapy to dig deeper as to why you're attracted to the type of men who are trouble. So to answer your question, yes. But even if you decided not to invest in therapy or coaching, which you should because you need some help and it's okay, then even if you choose to not do that, then I need you to use logic. Take a piece of paper and take a pen. Y'all know I love this. Paper and pen does everything. I want you to write down every gentleman. Well, no, he wasn't a gentleman. He was a troublemaker, right? Every F-boy who hurt you. Write his name down. Write down what he did to you. Write it down. And if that doesn't convince you, read it over, and that doesn't convince you that clearly these F-boys are not beneficial to your life, and as a result, you can and will make a conscious effort to date other people, then I don't know what to tell you. Now it needs to be, you need a mental health professional. Now you need a mental health professional. Logic and reason needs to be instituted back into the relationships that we build and who we choose. Okay? A laid back says facts. If you said that attraction thing goes for men too. Absolutely. Okay? Okay, guys, I do see some of the requests to come live. I'm coming. Just let me finish up on these questions that were submitted via stories, and I will definitely allow you to join the live, and you can answer your question directly. I can give you a little bit more context because we're here face to face. Okay? Moving on. Excellent question. How do I get out of the friend zone? How do I get out of the friend zone? My answer, you don't. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. My answer is, you don't. If someone is romantically attracted to you, they are. If someone is not romantically attracted to you, they aren't. You cannot force someone to become romantically attracted to you. Now, you may choose to continue to be their friend, and perhaps emotions may develop thereafter, but please do not stick around this person hoping and praying that you can convince them to do otherwise. Absolutely not. You cannot convince anyone to do anything. We can hardly convince ourselves to do the stuff that we know that we need to do. We know we need to stop eating all this sugar. We know we need to stop smoking and drinking. We know that we need to work out. We know we need to stop messing with F-boys. We have a hard time convincing ourselves to do the right thing or to do something different. You think we have the ability to change somebody else's mind? They're either into you or they're not. It can change. It can change. But please do not invest any time, effort, money, or anything else into trying to change this person's mind. If you enjoy their company and you enjoy being their friend and you're okay with accepting that role exclusively, then go on right ahead. Please see other people, but do not invest time, effort, money, energy in someone thinking you can change their mind. You absolutely cannot. Okay? A man who's really serious about any woman is not going to play games with you or allow nonsense to come between the two of you. Okay? Either they're interested or they're not. A grown woman says, I agree. You can't get out. You don't. See? All right, you guys are in alignment with me and I appreciate it. Shamari says you don't. I just said the same thing. You don't, you don't, you don't. You can't. And it's okay. If it's meant to be, it will happen. If it's not meant to be, it won't happen. And you will move right along. And also, please keep in mind that you're being friend zoned right now and you friend zoned so many other people. They lived. You will live. You're being rejected. You'll be okay. Men are rejected 27 times a day. This is a woman who's speaking specifically, which is why I said that. Now, I'll tell you this. I want you women to think how many times, and this might have been a New York thing. Think about how many times you have rejected a man. How many men drove up slow next to you when you was walking to the bus or the train? How many guys tried to holler at you at the bus or the train? How many guys tried to holler at you when you were in a dollar van? How many guys tried to holler at you in the mall? How many guys tried to holler at you in the store? How many guys try to holler at you everywhere? We have been rejecting men left, right, and center, and they pushed through. They survived. So the few times that a woman is rejected, guess what? You will survive too. Keep it moving. Don't waste your time. Okay? Moving right along. I don't like when guys ask for my IG before asking me for my phone number. What do you think? I don't like when guys ask me about my IG before asking me for my phone number. What do you think? Yes, Tanya, the dollar van, and it's mad awkward when it's the dollar van man and it's just you. I'm getting out the dollar van, okay? I don't like when guys ask for my IG before asking for my phone number. What do you think? Okay? Someone says nowadays guys are crazy over rejection. Crazy guys are crazy over rejection. They crazy. They was crazy already. There was nothing we could do about that. So, my opinion, I don't see it as a big deal. I think that many times guys use that opportunity to get into your DMs as a way to work up to getting to your number. They may be nervous and they feel like you're less inclined to reject them. by offering the IG versus blatantly asking for the number, I don't see a big deal. I don't see a big deal at all. Plenty of people use all types of apps that are not specifically made for dating apps as a dating app, and that's what they're using. I don't think it's a big deal at all. Okay? So I think asking for numbers is worse. I prefer IG, less dangerous. I mean, you could block this if you give them your number, you could block them just like you could block them on Instagram. So I don't know about less or more dangerous. I think that it just makes things easier to ask because people are less inclined to say no to an IG follow. Actually, people want followers, so that's a win, versus saying, no, I don't want a number. And then they could work their way up to the phone number. Okay? Someone says, I prefer IG. Easier to filter out. Absolutely. And if you can follow them, you can get a lot of insight on the way that they function in society. Insight, not a complete picture, based on that. So use a Google Voice number. So I would say, Poetic Soul, I'm actually not a fan of the Google Voice number. And the reason why I'm not a fan of the Google Voice number is because you are creating a situation from the beginning where you're saying, I don't trust you, right? Now that might be how you actually feel. And I get it. This person's a stranger. You shouldn't trust them. But I don't want to begin with, I don't trust you. Giving someone your phone number and then them being a weirdo and you blocking them is A-okay. Like they are not going to be able to figure out where you live because they have your phone number. So I'm a proponent of give a number, block if inappropriate. Y'all ain't say nothing about China calling y'all. They call you, they got your number, they call you all the time. Somebody's always calling us about our warranty on our car. They call us all the time. We will be all right. It'll be all right. Okay? Next question. Talking on a dating site since December 14th and he hasn't asked for my number. What should I do? Been talking on a dating site since December 14th and he hasn't asked for my number. What should I do? Okay. So the first thing I would say is that, let me reply to this. Google shows all your info. If you Google Instagram, someone's Instagram, you can find out their email, their phone number too. Our phone number is attached to our Instagram and our phone number is attached to our Facebook for sure. So if they really wanted to dig and they really had access, then they would be able to figure it out off of your social media if they had access to it too. So I'm not concerned, okay? Talking on a dating site since December 14th and he hasn't asked for my number, what should I do? So my first question is, are you guys talking consistently? Like, is this like something that you're doing consistently, right? If you're talking almost every day on the app and you like him, I don't think it's the end of the world for you to say, hey, I'd love to continue this conversation. I'm normally free after 7. Here's my number. Maybe he's nervous for some reason. And let me tell you guys something about this, right? Ever since the Me Too movement, there are good men who are afraid. They don't want to be lumped in with the weirdos, right? And so they like to take things slower. They may even give you like big bro vibes on the first date because they don't want to touch, they don't want to hug, because they don't want to be seen as the same overly aggressive, damn near rapist, if not rapist men that got caught up in the Me Too movement. So a lot of good guys are taking it slow because they're worried that they're going to be perceived as weirdos. If the conversation's been solid and you like this guy, then there's nothing wrong with you saying, hey, I'd love to continue this conversation. Here's my number. I'm normally free after 7. If the combo is good, right? And you like him as much as you could like anybody through an app. If he doesn't call, that's the end of the road. You're not going back on the app to extend the combo. Like, I gave you my number. I have very carefully given you a dog whistle that says, I like you. I'm not afraid of you. Call me. So if he goes back on the app and he's still talking to you through the app, something's wrong here, and then that's when I'm going to move on. But if the combo is good, he may be a little bit nervous. He may be a little nerdy. Maybe that's your type. Nothing wrong with that. If you like the combo, you like the guy, hey, I'm normally free at this time, give me a call. If he doesn't call, do not engage with him on the app anymore because he's looking for a pen pal and we ain't got time for that, right? It's been 2 weeks. I understand your hesitancy. Give him the number, see what happens. If it goes from there, great. If it doesn't, then you know that you've done everything that you needed to do. You've actually gone above and beyond because women don't even normally offer their number. So you've gone above and beyond to make this guy comfortable, to let him know that you're interested. If he takes it, great. If he doesn't take it, blocked. Blocked and busy. Okay? No need to be scary. Go for what you know. I mean, you're talking to me, but I'm talking about thousands of guys that are a little bit nervous about being lumped in with these other people. Okay. Yep. Didn't think of the Me Too movement point. Okay. The consistency is a good point. Thank you, Amber. Okay. I never asked a guy for his number. Are ladies asking for numbers? It's well seen by men. I wouldn't ask for his number. I'd offer mine. If he takes it, great. If he doesn't take it, then that's perfectly fine too. Okay, I wouldn't ask, so here's mine. You use it, you use it. If you don't, you don't. Side note, if they respond and give you back their number, don't call it. Like, I need you to have decent reading comprehension skills. I'd love to continue this conversation at a later time. Here's my number. I'm normally free around 7. If he responds and just gives you back his number, nah, I've done more than I was supposed to do. I've gone above and beyond. You need to take the next step, brother. Come on. Me too, shme too. Do something. Good question here. Do you believe paid dating apps or sites are more beneficial than the free options? Do you believe that paid dating apps or sites are more beneficial than the free option? Absolutely. You get what you pay for. And what you pay for when you pay nothing is you get limited information, limited access. The algorithm is not in your benefit, because why would they push out your profile or send you significant profiles that get a lot of activity if you're not even paying them, right? So what's their benefit? Like, what do they get out of it? You also can't put your parameters in many cases. So on many apps, you can't even put in like a distance. You can't put in the parameters of what you're looking for. And so absolutely you should pay for your dating apps. Now, what I recommend to my clients is that they create 3 profiles on 3 different apps for free. 3, right? Don't pay for all 3. You play with the apps for a week, and then based on the limited information that you have, you then decide which apps you like the best. Which ones seemingly have more ladies or more gentlemen that are your style or in alignment with what you're looking for. Which apps are the most fluid. Which ones you like. 2 out of 3, you pay for a 3-month subscription for each one. 2 out of the 3 after a week of playing around with it. And then you can decide which one you think is the most appropriate match, and then you use the apps accordingly. Guys, this stigma on dating apps is outrageous. Dating apps are simply a virtual bar, virtual brunch, virtual any social setting. And actually, I think it's heightened and even better than your average social setting, because at minimum, everyone who's there wants something romantic. Now, that something romantic could be sex only. That something romantic could be casual. But at least they want or marriage or commitment or a baby or no baby, whatever. But they want something romantic. Take me out of it because it's not me. If someone who's single is going to brunch, going to play pool, going to a sporting event, the people are there for the brunch, pool, and the sporting event. Some of them are available, some of them are not. Some of them are seeking, some of them are not. At least in this virtual space of dating apps, we all want something romantic. Whether or not we want the same thing romantic remains to be seen, and we have to go through that process. But dating apps give you an opportunity to introduce yourself virtually with as many people as humanly possible who relatively want the same things as you. It's now up to you to vet them to see if it's an appropriate match. And as we've seen, evidenced by the questions that we've received, people are being more upfront than we like to admit. We want to put the onus on everybody else. They're lying. They're deceitful. Yes, some, not all. And again, I always say this, the same human beings that we are meeting at brunch and at pool and at Topgolf are the same ones who have dating profiles. Just as likely as they are to be dishonest to you in person is as likely as they are to be dishonest with you online. The question is, how long is it going to take for you to vet to figure out whether or not they're dishonest? Maybe you might be more inclined to figure it out earlier if you meet them earlier. But guess what? Pluck them off the app, meet them in person, and then you'd be in a position to assess whether or not they're an appropriate match or if they're lying or whatever, just as quickly as you would have met them or you would have found out if you met them in person. We should not be prolonging the meeting process. You may choose to prolong the relationship process. You may choose to prolong the marriage process, but meet in a well-lit public space, drive there on your own, take your own Uber so no one knows where you live, just like you would have given a chance to a quote-unquote stranger you met on the street. They're both strangers. You're in the same level of danger. We just have to be mindful of our surroundings. Maybe we bring a friend who's hanging in the back, we don't know, to watch it, whatever. Turn your location on, share it with a friend. Again, public spaces, well lit. Check out locations before you go. Drive on your own. Don't let him send him an Uber because you want to be cheap. Don't let him send you an Uber because you want to be cheap. Now he has your location. And now everybody's a weirdo because you were not strategic, right? So come on, y'all. Pay for the app. Stop being cheap after you've played with it for about a week to decide whether or not it's a app that you like the fluidity, okay? Let's see what else we have here. There was a question here that I don't know how to answer. So I'll just take a stab at it, especially because he's here, okay? Why are women wearing weaves and wigs over natural hair? Is it A, weather, B, maintenance, C, looks, or D, all of the above? I'm going to say all of the above. I'm wearing a weave right now. I haven't worn one or sew in a bit. Yeah. It's to protect from the weather. It's to diminish our maintenance. It's to give a different look. And it's all of the above. Someone asked, what does that have to do with dating? I'm not sure, which is why I said I wasn't sure if I should answer it or how to answer it. But, you know, okay, all of the above. Because we feel like it, all of them, D for sure, okay? It's all of that. I don't know if there's an insinuation behind that question. I don't want to be presumptuous, so we're just going to leave it at that. Why, thank you. The weather, it was given this morning. Go back in my stories. It was given this morning, but the humidity messed me up. Okay? Okay. So this is the last question I'm going to take from here, and then I'm going to go into the queue. If there's anyone who would like to ask me a question live on the screen in front of all these beautiful people, you're not afraid, please go ahead and join us so you can ask your question, and I can give you a little bit more intense response, a little bit more analysis, a little bit more depth. Okay? So, how do you know if someone isn't good for you? How do you know if someone isn't good for you? Okay, so very easy. Going back to a response that I said earlier, before you start dating, you need to have a clear vision as to what you want out of a partner and a partnership. Grab a paper, grab a pen, write down what you want out of a partner and a partnership. My recommendation is 5 to 6 behaviors or characteristics. I'm not going to explain that why again. You can go back and rewind if you missed it. Okay? Okay. If that person is not fulfilling what you're looking for in a partner, in a partnership, if this person doesn't make you feel good, if you don't look forward to being with this person, if you don't look forward to seeing this person, then they're not good for you. You have your list of what you want. If they are not fulfilling those things and being around them does not make you feel good, put it like this. My husband gets off at different times. It varies, right? Like sometimes he's super lucky. He might get off at 2 and then sometimes, or get home by 2 and then sometimes he gets home around 6, right? That's a big window of time. When I pull up in front of my house and I don't see his truck, I am sad. Because that means that I'm going to go in the house and he's not going to be there. When I pull up in front of the house and I see his truck, I am happy. Because that means that he's going to be home when I arrive. I want to see him. Now, I do the weirdo thing sometimes of staying in my car to kind of decompress if I've had a tough day. Has nothing to do with him. Point is, do you want to be around this person? Does this person make you feel good? Whatever good is. Wanted, loved, cared for, sexy, whatever it is, right? If that's the case, and they're fulfilling what you wanted out of a relationship, then this is a good thing. If not, it's not a good thing. Someone asked, what if this person is your husband, serious but not serious? Okay, I think that's an excellent question. It is serious but not serious. You need to go to therapy or seek counseling or seek mentorship. Or if in church you want to see the pastor, do some marital counseling. or see a relationship coach. Like, if you are with your husband or your wife, this is your spouse, this is someone that you've committed to. Not only did you commit to legally, but if you believe in God, in front of your family and friends, you might have even financial bindings, you may have children together. You don't want to let that go easily. That's why marriage is seen as the highest level of commitment. You can't just walk out. Like, you can physically do it, but you can't do so just legally, right? It's not easy peasy. And so if you are coming home and you don't want to see your husband or your wife, you're not looking forward to that, right? Then that means that you need I would recommend, I shouldn't say what you need. I would recommend that you get some kind of professional intervention, because this is the person that you are legally married to. And I imagine that not only do you have financial, you may have children. You don't want to let that go easily. Seek a professional to help you sort out your issues, to see if it can be resolved. If you can resolve it, excelente. If it's unresolvable, if that's a word, then we need to look at whatever legal steps you can take to dissolve this marriage. But do not feel obligated to stay in a marriage that you are unfulfilled with, and you've tried to get some kind of professional intervention and you've been unsuccessful. If you have children, your children will see it and you'll be unhappy. In 2022, I would imagine the stigma of divorce is not as bad. Get on. You'll be okay. Okay? So at this time, I'll take questions live. I will take questions live. So if there's anyone who is willing and is interested in coming on live, you can talk to us about what your specific question is, and then we can get down to it. What if your husband is against getting counseling? That means he's against working things out with you, which means he's against y'all. Like, this whole idea of I don't want to go to counseling. Well, you can either go to counseling or we could go to a divorce attorney. And this is not in an effort to give somebody an ultimatum. This is reality. I'm not happy. You're not happy. The only resolution I can think of is counseling. Do you have a resolution? No. So then the last resolution that we have left is separation. It annoys me when someone complains about something and has no resolution to solve it. I have a resolution. You don't, but you don't want to follow mine, but you ain't got one. So you can either give me some alternative resolution that I haven't figured out, or you can follow me along with mine because you don't got one, or we